Do it.
Dale Tucker. That is my name. Dale Tucker. That is my name. Dale Tucker.
Oh, you actually are going to remix it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I mean, not for long because I need to open the show. But, I figured
Can I give you
it'd be a little
the
fun.
background? The
Yeah, it would be perfect. I was going to end it with what's Taylor Lautner going to do, but no one's going to know what that means until I continue talking.
It's been 2 weeks since we talked about him. No one remembers him.
No one remembers it. No, I serious have a concern of what Taylor Lautner is going to do with his life right now. But more on that later. You'll have to stay for the rest of the episode.
Weirdest tease.
Right?
Weird.
Right? It's gonna keep him in the seat though, or on the treadmill, or however they're listening to this. It's gonna keep him tuned in. This is what happens when we don't talk for a week.
This is 2019. This is what
This
2019
is
brings.
2019. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Say Report Jr. Tight. That was tight. I am one of your hosts, Dale Decker. I forgot that I had to continue.
There you go. And I'm the other host, Zack. I was very tempted. You're like, that was a tight opening. That was great. And I was like, well, except for the part where you didn't say who you are.
Well, I did in song.
I know. That's what I was wondering. Is like, is she waiting for me to talk now because she started with her name song? That's a thing, right?
My name song. My song name. Same. my same. Wow.
I got nothing.
I got nothing. This is going to be an interesting episode.
To be fair, everybody, I was trapped in Colorado for like 4 days, and things are just now getting back to some semblance of normal. So.
And more on that later. Stay tuned. No.
Yes.
No more
This
teasers
entire,
for this
this entire
episode.
episode is us bringing stuff up and saying, but we'll get to that later. This is a year preview of the Say Report Jr.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a lot to talk about, but I figure we could start with you. How is 2019?
Let's go chronologically here.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to do this.
How has your 2019 been so far?
It sucks, Dale. It sucks a lot. I don't like to bring negativity to this show, but oh my god.
We'll end on the positive of what I've done.
Yes, that's fine. So I'll start. I'm trying to think of chronologically. I'll do this chronologically. It's the only way I'm going to keep this all straight.
Fine.
So, went to go visit Sejan and the parents and Sejan's family, all in Salt Lake. Great.
Yeah.
Great trip. Great family. Great
time.
house.
Family time.
Great parents. All good.
All good.
Met a dog.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, met a dog. A1 dog. Hazel is great.
A1 dog.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. I've forgotten how to podcast for a second. I'm just like readjusting now because I'm just like now I have to like relive all of this. But no, I drove to see.
It's okay.
I drove to see Sejan and his family and my parents, and it was all excellent. It was a couple of years since I'd seen them, so this was a great opportunity. That started out with me almost not going.
Oh wow!
Because somehow I'm gonna blame Leprechaun Returns for this. I don't know why.
God.
I just am. Because the Thursday night before I left, I watched Leprechaun Returns, which is amazing. And I think I got hit with like some sort of weird, you got to watch a good movie, so now bad karma for 2019. Leprechaun Returns is the only direct sequel in the entire Leprechaun franchise. It's just like the new Halloween. It's a sequel to the original and ignores all of the others. And they got a Jennifer Aniston impersonator for a scene. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so very good. He rides a drone and attacks a truck. It's so silly. It's great. I loved it. But as I'm watching Leprechaun Returns, I looked out my window and noticed, it's snowing.
Yeah.
Hate when that happens, but sure, it's snowing. So the next morning, as I decide it's time for me to leave for my 12 to 14-hour drive to Sejan's house, I get in my car and I clean it off and everything's going great. Get going, just no problem. And then I can't get onto the highway I want to get onto because my car won't make it up the hill.
Oh, God.
The snow, it could not get any traction on the snow. onto the highway that would take me to Flagstaff in 5 hours, which is the road I wanted to take. And so after about an hour and a half of trying to figure out what I was going to do, I said, screw it. And I took another highway out of town to swing down to Tucson and then north up to Flagstaff, which, just so everybody knows, again, Flagstaff to the north of me, Tucson 3 hours west of me, and then again 5 hours north to Flagstaff. So I just added 3 hours to my trip right off the bat. So that was the start of my trip.
Nice. Beautiful.
But I get going. Fine. Everything's good. Get to Salt Lake at like 11:30, midnight, whatever. Meet Sejin, meet Tess, meet Hannah, meet the dog. Everything's great. My parents are there. We're all good. We have a wonderful 2 or 3 days that I was there. We went and saw Mary Poppins Returns, which was actually better than I expected. And also, I still blame the marketing for this. Off mic last episode, we discussed the fact that we were very confused by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who we thought was playing Bert in Mary Poppins Returns.
Upset.
And we were like, why is he not 20 years older like everybody else in this movie? Well, because he's not Bert. He is Jack, one of the little kids that was like working with Bert in the first movie.
Gotcha.
So like he is just a different character.
Gotcha.
That's all that is. I mean, he essentially is the Dick
Bert.
Van Dyke of this movie,
Yeah.
but he's just playing a different character for purposes.
Cool.
And I don't know, maybe we'll get into it, maybe we won't, but I might have to rewatch the original Mary Poppins first before I confirm this, but I'm pretty certain Mary Poppins Returns is just Mary Poppins with new songs.
Oh, cool.
Like straight up plot point by plot point almost. Like I could be like, this is where this song replaces Spoonful of Sugar. This song replaces Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. This song replaces I Love to Laugh, like 1-to-1.
You said with new songs, right?
Right,
Okay.
new songs.
All
But
right.
I mean, the actual like story plot going around it,
Is
it
the
feels
same?
like almost the exact same. Like we need to get to the scene where we can sing the Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious song, which is not that. It's every book has the book's not the cover, I think is what it's called.
Spoilers.
whatever.
No, I know.
Or even like the first song is like one of the very first songs is instead of Spoonful of Sugar helps the medicine go down, it's Imagine That, which is instead of her trying to get them to take medicine, she's trying to get them to take a bath, and they sing a song about it. Like it's that close.
Jeez.
And
All
like as the first song when she shows up. Yeah, it's weird, and I need to watch those two movies, maybe even side by side, and make this
Beautiful.
conspiracy. But anyway, I also got to do that though in if anybody has heard the Say Report Senior episode where Sejin described how he saw. I'm not sure if it wasn't Aquaman. I forget what it was because he hasn't seen Aquaman yet. But whatever movie it was that he went to go see. But we got these very beautiful reclining seats right in the middle of the theater, like perfect distance, perfect central seats where everything is a giant recliner. It's got a little
think it was
pulled out
Spider-Verse.
desk. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. Yes. You know, these beautiful. I can't go watch another movie now because these seats were like so comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We've got some theaters around us that we've been to, and it's like I can't. It sucks. I can't go back. And then you do go back to like regular movie theaters, and it's like this sucks. I hate you.
So I get out of there and I leave on. It's now New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
It is very early in the morning on New Year's Eve. Again, everything's fine with the car. I get going, and I have to drive through Wyoming to get to Colorado, to get to just outside of Denver to see a friend.
Mm-hmm.
The entire time that I was in Wyoming, it was 5 degrees or less.
Oh.
And it was not snowing, but it had snowed a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing had melted. And it was a steady, like 40-mile-an-hour wind. So what I was driving in was basically just a, like, snow dust cloud surrounding me the whole time.
God.
Like that scene in Fury Road when they go into the sandstorm. That's what it was like to drive on the highway all through Wyoming.
Oh my God. It's awful.
But again, get to Colorado, everything's great. See my friend. We do New Year's. We watch Puka, which is weird. That's the Hulu horror click Christmas movie, which I can't even just start to describe that movie because it feels like that whole movie is one big spoiler. But oh my God, was it strange? We watched it thinking it would be like funny and bad to watch, and it was pretty much until the end when we learned the like when they kind of explained what was going on, and we went, well, now we're just bummed out.
Yeah.
So,
Oh God.
but then we turned on New Year's Rockin' Eve or whatever the NBC version of
Yep.
it is called, and we just laughed at how bad it was. Chrissy Teigen, Carson Daly, and Leslie Jones from SNL. And
right,
God
okay.
bless them, they were trying, but God, oh God, it was bad. Then January 1st comes. It is now 2019. Go out, get my car, go to leave, and car struggles a little bit to turn over, but gets going. It's fine. We're good. Okay, good. Car started. It was sitting. Again, it has spent now over 24 hours in 5 degrees or less.
Mm-hmm.
So just it struggled to start, but we're good. Whatever. Get going, get driving. About an hour down the road, half hour down the road, I'm like, okay, I should stop for gas, get some coffee before I get on the highway. Stop, I fill up, get a cup of coffee, get in the car. Nothing.
Oh God.
Nothing. I'm like, oh crap. This is just what I need right now. So call my friend, tell her, hey, this is what's happened. I might need a jump, I guess. Don't really know what's going on. Whatever. But in about 15 minutes or so, as I'm sitting there, car starts again. Just starts again. Okay, screw it. The car's on. Call my friend. Tell her, don't come get me. I'm getting on the highway. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm getting away from the cold. Maybe once I'm in like 40 degrees and up, things will be fine.
Yeah.
I get going. Cut to 2 hours later. I have not gone 5 or 10 minutes without my windshield fogging up, and my windshield wiper fluid is no longer working.
Oh God, no.
And so I have to stop to clean off my windshield. And so I tell myself, okay, well, I've been driving for a couple of hours. Everything's warmed up. It's going to be all of 5 minutes. I'm just going to do this. So I pull into a truck stop in Pueblo, Colorado. And I get out. I run to the restroom. I get more coffee. I get the windshield cleared. And then I get in the car. Nothing again. And a half hour later, still nothing.
No.
And an hour later, still nothing.
No.
And finally, I have to go, well, fuck.
Oh,
This is it.
God.
Now, as you will all recall from 30 seconds ago, it is New Year's Day, which means that I start calling
right.
around, and there is not a mechanic open to answer a call to start looking at my car. Well, okay. For the first time in my life, I have now joined Uber.
Yep.
I call an Uber. I get to a cheap hotel. I call it a night. So I figure second, people will be reopen tomorrow. I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And try some other things. Maybe if I give it a night, something magical will happen and it will be fine.
Yeah.
Next morning, again, still not moving. Fine. Call an auto parts place. See if it's the battery needs to be replaced. And there's a very nice O'Reilly's in town that delivered a battery to me.
That's nice.
Put it in the car. Replace it. Nothing still. Fine. Finally get it towed to a Brakes Plus in town. Like an advanced auto parts mechanic shop. And they look at it and they go, well, here's your problem. Your engine done up and died, basically.
No.
There's something with timing in the engine, not the belt. I feel like if it was a belt, they would have been able to fix this.
Yeah.
But there was some sort of timing
Timing belt.
that was off. And the only way to fix it would be to either pull the engine out and hope you could knock some stuff back into place or replace the engine. Like, those are my two options in this. And neither one of those things takes less than 20 hours or less than like $1,500.
Yeah.
And all I can think is I don't have that. Either of those. I don't have 20 hours. Turned out I had 20 hours. We'll get to that. But or $1,500 right now. What are my options? And again, very nice people. Only ever charged me to get my car towed to them, and after that, they didn't charge me for anything else. So good
nice.
Mechanics Brakes Plus in Pueblo, Colorado.
Yeah.
You're great. They were like, well, here's your options. Find a way to tow it back to Silver City or scrap it here, because if you can't get it fixed or looked at, those are your options. All right, fine. So I start and get that process going, get the car figured out, scrapped, emptied out. I'm down to like 3 bags
Yep.
of just my stuff. Tossed out a lot of other junk. Car is empty. Was able to return the battery, which was nice. Usually they don't let you, but they were
Yeah.
like, well, we'll consider it under warranty since you only had it for 2 days. We'll just give you your money back and whatever. And so then I start trying to figure out getting home, which is the new adventure.
Yeah.
And I call about renting a car, and they're like, well, here's what it's going to cost you to rent the car. It's like 250, $300. Oh, but your license is from out of state and you're driving it one way. So it all has to be on a credit card. It can't be on a debit. It's like, but I have money on my debit card.
Yeah.
I have it. It's right
I
here.
promise you, I have
And
money.
they're like, no. They're like, sorry, because of all of these things, it has to be on a credit card instead. Okay, well, I don't have that on my credit card. I now have to make a payment on my credit card to cover this cost, which will not go through until the next day.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Jeez.
guess I'll do that. Staying another night in Pueblo, Colorado, everybody.
So now it is January 3rd.
3rd. Yeah, that's what, Wednesday? Yeah.
Yep, Wednesday.
So,
No, that's Thursday.
Thursday, whatever it is. I don't even know
Yeah.
anymore. I also probably missed a day in there of some other stuff. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure this all out. But anyway, again, so now, next day, payments through on my credit card. I have the money they told me I needed. Cool. Call them up again. Say, hey, got the money. I want to get the car. I know it's $250. Is there anything else? They're like, oh, yes. No, that's good. That's the price. Price is still the same. Oh, but also there's a $150 deposit we didn't tell you about yesterday
Oh,
that you
come
will get back when you return the car,
on.
but we need that deposit. And I was like, does that have to be on the same card or can I split that with something? Like, oh, no, it all has to be on the same thing. It all has to be one big lump
Oh
payment.
my God.
It's like, well, I don't have $400 now to rent your vehicle. Come on.
Ugh,
But
ridiculous.
so, I got the money from when I returned the battery. I don't know. I just put more money on the card and see what happens the next day. Sure, I can squeeze it out. I'm not going to have a ton of gas money for this rental car.
Yeah, no.
But at least, who knows? Maybe they'll give me something with good enough mileage to get home in one shot. I don't know. I'm desperate right now. So again, make another payment on my card using the money from the battery return to go on my card. Have to wait another night for that to go through. So now it's Thursday, I think.
Friday.
I don't know.
Or Saturday.
I don't know. It's
Basically,
Thursday-ish.
it's your third day there, or your fourth
by
day
the time
there.
by the time I had gotten to this point, it was Thursday night. I don't know what days I missed in there, but it was
Yeah.
Thursday night because that's an important detail. Because then the Friday's coming. And so Thursday night I call just to make sure there aren't any other surprises, which foreshadowing. And I say, okay, I've got the money for the rental. I've got the money for the deposit. It'll all be on one card. Can I get a 24-hour rental Friday morning? And I will drop it off on Saturday morning in Silver City. To which the guy said, well, there's a problem.
Oh my God.
The Enterprise in Silver City is not open on Saturdays, which means that you would actually have to rent the car for the entire weekend.
No.
Which means it's not going to be $400. It's going to be like $550 for the 2 or 3 extra days that we're going to require you to rent this car because...
So, no.
So I finally hit my last just nothing on I got nothing
Yeah.
for this. So I finally turned around and said, fine, what are my bus options? Because there is not a bus station here in Silver,
Yeah.
but I can get to like the next town over. And luckily I know people that can come pick me up. So I look at the bus schedule and it starts it's Thursday and on Thursday night at 10 p.m. It's like, okay, great. Sure. Whatever. I go through the night and I get home and then I look more at this detail and it's, well, it'll be from 10 p.m. to 9:30 in the morning, and we'll get you to El Paso. And then it's going to be 9 hours, and at 5 o'clock, that bus will leave for Deming, and you'll be there at like 8 o'clock.
What?
That's it, because there's only one bus that goes. It's all interlocking things. So there's a bus that's going from Denver. Basically, there's a bus that's going from Denver to like Los Angeles, and that stops in El Paso and goes through Deming, and that's the bus I'm kind of swinging in on there. But there isn't a bus that goes from Pueblo to Deming. It goes from Pueblo to El Paso, and then a different bus takes me out of El Paso.
Jeez. Okay.
So, I mean, that was my only option. So I do that. So it took me from Thursday night at 10 p.m. to 8 o'clock Friday night to finally be back home. And this was after 3 days being stuck in Pueblo.
Jesus. That's
So
insane. Yeah, because you were stuck there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and left Friday, got home.
Left Thursday night and then got,
Thursday night. So you were 2 nights in.
2 nights, and then what I ended up doing, though, was that because I figured out the bus thing at 8 o'clock in the morning, I ended up just paying for my cheap hotel room for one extra night, even though I wasn't there the whole night because I had nowhere else to go. So even though I checked out at 9 o'clock at night, I actually,
just so you had a place to
just so I could like chill for a few hours.
Oh, that sucks. That's
oh
awful.
my god. Oh my god. It was the worst. 2019 is already the worst.
Well, how was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today?
I mean, since then, everything's fine.
Pretty much you said.
It's okay.
Life.
Been playing. I picked up the as a treat to myself because I needed something. I picked up the Spyro remake trilogy.
Oh, okay. On the Switch or
playing,
on
PS4? On PS4. Gotcha. I forgot it came out on Switch. I should have said on Switch. I don't
know if it's out yet on Switch, but I know it's.
They're coming. Yeah, you're
coming.
right. But no, I picked it up on PS4, so I've been playing that and like relaxing. Nice. Like, oh my god, oh my god.
Deserve it. After that, oh my god, that's insane. That's insane. But you did it and you made it home.
Oh, yes, but also while I was in El Paso, because I had 9 hours, I went and saw Aquaman.
Nice. Yes. Beautiful. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh man, that's a good movie. That's a good movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
I had no idea
every second.
I had no idea what to expect going into it because I had not watched, like, as soon as I knew when it was coming out, like, I barely watched any sort of, I don't think I watched a single trailer for that movie because I was like, I'm going to go see this thing and give it a shot. And people have been talking about how good it is. That's all I need. Yeah. I don't need anything else to go see this. So going into that movie, I was completely blind and I was so happy with that.
Yeah, no, I went into it. I think I saw like the standard trailer. But before I even saw a trailer, I'm like, well, I'm seeing an Aquaman movie because although I don't know a lot about Aquaman, I never read the comics. I never read DC Comics, period. Aquaman growing up was always like a character that fascinated me and who like I rooted for. And I grew up never understanding why Aquaman like was made fun of so much.
I've never read an Aquaman comic. So outside of the comics, though, the only time I've ever really seen him is like Super Friends and then Justice League. Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people have like most of their, and there was like a TV show for like a season in the 70s or something. Yeah. So like, of course, like it's going to be the goofiest possible versions of him. Although in the Justice League version, when he like rips his own hand off and gives himself a claw, I would say he was pretty badass. But I think it's just the fact that like when you're talking about him, there's not much to say beyond, oh, he talks to fish and saves things underwater, which is a complete disservice to what that actually is. But like that's like the very base level of how to describe Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like I've always been fascinated with the ocean. I love marine animals. I love the ocean itself. Like I love the idea of exploration in the ocean. I love like mythical creatures that could live in the ocean. Everything ocean related like really like checks boxes for me. So it's like that was another reason why I was always like rooting for Aquaman, because I'm like I like grew up pretending to be a mermaid in like my friend's pool, and you know like that was all the stuff that I pretended to be Aquaman. I pretended to be these characters that I was like, why is he goofy? Like, why is talking to fish goofy? And it also came from an episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy like
Oh, right.
becomes friends with the they're called the super pals or something.
Yeah.
And Aquaman is there, and he is the butt of every joke.
Right, with like Catman and I
Yeah.
forget the rest of them, but they got
So
Adam West was playing
yeah,
Catman, and
so
then they had
Catman and then Crimson Chin.
right.
And I think it was Crimson Chin was getting like jealous or something of the super pals or something. But Superman's there, Wonder Woman is there, Batman and Aquaman are all there, and they're flying in, the
The invisible
invisible
jet.
jet and all of that. And like that, the end of that episode, spoilers for a Fairly Odd Parents episode from like years ago. The end of that episode is they trick the super pals because they start getting like too needy and like too attached. They trick the super pals into going into space and going a place like I don't even know how many light years away. And the end of the episode is just them old as shit, like almost dead in the invisible jet in space. And it's like, what is happening? Fairly Odd Parents,
beauty
what
of Bush
is
Hartman
happening?
animation is what's happening.
Yeah, I know. And like I loved Fairly Odd Parents, but yeah, I remember this episode and every joke on about like it's all about Aquaman and making fun of Aquaman, and like he has his dolphins and he swims through the sewer and stuff. And I'm like, but Aquaman's cool. And
Yeah,
now he is to the rest of the world. Like, it just makes me happy.
Yeah, part of that is, I mean, there's a lot of really good parts of that, but I think a big part is that we have very recently in the last few years kind of expanded our understanding of the ocean in a way that we all went, oh shit, we got no idea what's down here.
Yeah.
We don't know what any of this is. It is just as alien to us as space, but there are definitive creatures living down here we don't even know about.
Yeah.
And so I think that like Aquaman coming out now, it is coming out at a prime part where like the idea of we've turned throwing someone into the Marianas Trench into a prison sentence is like into a sacrificial sentence.
Yeah.
Like we also live in a time where most people know what the Marianas Trench is, so that helps. Like,
yeah.
But then on top of that, you just got Jason Momoa like mugging the whole movie.
Yeah, and he's beautiful. He is beautiful. I'm sorry. I just need to.
I'm not arguing.
I just need to sit on that for a second. Jason Momoa is a beautiful man.
And he pulls off, it's almost exactly the same thing as like Venom, where like everybody is taking everything so seriously except for Aquaman, who's just like, that's great, but I'm still going to kick your ass.
Exactly. Oh, man. Also, can we just, have you watched any of Jason Momoa's, interviews for anything, but mainly Aquaman? He is the goofiest guy, and he is so happy and genuinely happy and proud of what he does, but he also is able to make fun of it. You just need to look up some of his interviews, either on the Graham Norton show or anything like that. There's one where he did an interview barefoot. He does interviews barefoot sometimes. And there's another one he's on it's like a British, I don't know, round table kind of thing. And he has 2 pigtails and bare feet. And it's you're the best. I love everything about you. Thank you for being Aquaman. Oh, it's great. It's great. He's great.
And I can't tell you definitively if I have ever seen anything with Amber Heard in it. I can't remember. I know she's in Drive Angry, and I haven't seen Drive Angry.
I've never seen that. Yeah, no.
But I can't think of anything that I have seen with Amber Heard in it. So I had no idea what to expect from her coming into this. But Mara is great. Yeah. There's a great it's because she's not even a definite balance to him. She's no, this is what we're doing, so follow me.
Get used to it.
But but also she's, I mean, the fact that there's an entire scene in this movie, small spoilers, I'm not going to go into details, but there's scenes in this movie that take place in the Sahara, and it's not like they do that and suddenly she's freaking out that she's not in water, which would be the easiest thing to write for that scene. They're just it's a whole, it's just it just is she's perfectly fine going to these places and being kind of the take charge person in this adventure.
Yeah, she completely owns it. She completely owns that journey of that part of that movie. and you know, there's that whole, again, not to get too spoily, but they do venture to Sicily, not Sicily.
It is Sicily.
It is
Yes.
Sicily, right? So they
Oh my
venture to
God,
Sicily.
that whole scene is so good.
Fight is so good. But like even there, she's like, yeah, there's that moment. I'm gonna say she eats a rose, but like
I forgot about that actually.
She doesn't.
She totally pulls an Ariel.
She totally pulls an Ariel, but like yeah, she doesn't 100% get the surface world, but like she doesn't. She also understands that she can live here and be fine. Like,
and like the movie doesn't make
it's
fun of her for that
okay.
either, because the next thing that happens is she holds it out to Aquaman,
Yeah.
and he also eats one.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he never, like no one makes fun of her for this thing. It is just a silly, adorable
Yeah.
thing that happens
It's
between
great.
them.
It's great. Oh God, I want to see it again and again. I loved it. So every second of it, I loved.
Like if this is what DC decides to do going forward, this idea of like this kind of adventure style thing, or even just the more lighthearted, like this is what DC needed.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and
like if Wonder Woman came in and was like, okay, this is how you do the base idea of a superhero movie that's got its action and its serious bits and its fun bits and its romance and all of that. Wonder Woman was like the perfect textbook example of how to make a good standard superhero movie. And then Aquaman is like, okay, but now going past that, let's just have fun with one of these movies, because we've got a character that for whatever reason has not been highly respected and nobody expects anything of it anyway, so we might as well have fun with it.
Yeah, it's also my big thing about the whole Aquaman, and it goes kind of into Wonder Woman and even into Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok, is that I don't feel like I'm watching a superhero movie. Which is what I like about it. It's
I mean, that's
crazy.
totally fair. That's totally fair.
Although
It's
I need to say,
it's like you're watching like a fantasy adventure,
Yeah.
like almost an
Yes.
Indiana Jones style
Exactly.
movie more than you're watching. Yeah,
exactly, and that's what Aquaman was. It was totally like Indiana Jones-esque and all of that. But it's just all like the Marvel movies. Yes, it feels like I'm watching a superhero movie. Which I need to say, my friend Joe, there was a moment where I forgot what he was criticizing. Oh, it was Horizon Zero Dawn. And I think it was Horizon Zero Dawn. And he was talking about how something like he's like, I feel like I'm playing a video game. And I made fun of him for that comment because, yes, of course you're playing a video. Like, I'm sorry, you're playing a video game. But I am now turning around and saying it feels like I'm watching a superhero movie.
Sijin says this a lot. This was why he actually had trouble getting into Spider-Man on PS4, was because of that same thing. Like the seams.
That's what Joe was talking about. I don't remember.
Because the seams are there. Like in Spider-Man, you can't get through a fight without having to pull up a menu to change weapons and stuff like that. So like the idea that you are not just focused in on the game as just like, I am inhabiting this character and living in this world. Like I totally get that idea. But I mean,
he totally got me because we were having an Aquaman conversation, or we were having a conversation about Spider-Verse. I'm like, yeah, it just feels like, I like Spider-Verse, but it feels like I'm watching a superhero movie. And he's like, oh, it feels like you're watching a superhero movie? Maybe that's because you are watching a superhero movie. And that's exactly what I told him when he was like, I feel like I'm playing a video game. I was like, oh, really? Because you are playing a video game. So I understand that I sound like a hypocrite. But still, I think that the reason why I loved Aquaman and loved Wonder Woman and Black Panther and Thor Ragnarok is it transcends the superhero genre. Like it's about superhuman people who have these abilities and who are superhuman, right? But it takes that and puts them in the real world somehow at the same time. Like they have to deal with or context. They have to deal with real world things. Like it's like Wonder Woman. Yes, you have the God of War there, right? You do, right? Is that who it is? Yeah, Mercury.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Mars or something. It's Mercury,
Aries?
right? Aries?
No,
Aries.
I don't know.
It's Aries.
Is it Aries? Okay.
I believe so, yeah. So you have Aries. Yes, okay. But most of that movie, it's just World War. It's World War.
World War One.
It's World War One. Like,
And
it's
yes,
a
and
World
because
War
in-
One movie
In
until
Ares,
the very
it's inhabiting
end.
right, and in Ares,
Like-
it's just inhabiting a general on the other side of that
Exactly,
war, like by and moving things around like pawns on a chessboard. He's not like
Yeah.
it's not till that final fight that he gets even close to like superhero-y villain thing. But yeah,
Yeah, and like with Aquaman, it does tackle a lot of like ocean conservation. It's like, look at these people; they're killing our world. Let's kill theirs. And it's like, well, no, you should try to work with people.
it's also
not
like also no
you
one
can't
knows.
go to extremes, buddy. You can't go to
Right, I
extremes,
mean,
Orm. Like,
And not to give climate change a pass, but like to
Yeah.
do that and also be like, oh, no one knows we live down here,
yeah,
but
exactly.
also they're destroying our world.
yeah, it's just
It's like, well, did you ever think about like telling them
yeah.
and going
Did you
from
ever
there?
just think about having a conversation with someone? Yeah, it's cool that the ones that I've mentioned, they're superhero movies, yes. But it feels like the story that is told could be told in a non-superhero genre. And they have been told. Those stories have been told before with just regular people and slightly different situations that don't require magic abilities or
Right, they like,
like-
recontextualize being a superhero
Yes,
in a
yeah,
great way.
and
Like
it's-
Black Panther. One of the things I loved about Black Panther is that whole movie takes place in Wakanda,
Yep.
a place that doesn't exist and is entirely Israel. Like it's all about the internal politics of this fictional city, but it's also got the basis of, it's got just enough basis for everybody to kind of understand. Okay, so king dies, prince comes to take over, other person comes to usurp the throne, but then everything that they put around it is so much different than what we usually see, and is still completely internalized within this city.
Yeah.
It's not like half that movie took place in Wakanda and the other half took place in LA or some crazy thing like that, where all of a sudden you don't understand, like you have to completely reset what you're thinking of,
Yeah.
and it's just very obvious. Like it just works like in its own little bubble. And so with most of Aquaman taking place in the kingdoms under the sea, with a couple of exceptions, but still like it felt more like that they're doing is being like, well, these places that are outside the sea are still connected to it, which is like the whole theme of the movie.
Exactly.
Is that all of these things are connected
Yeah.
and they have
But,
to be
like,
protected.
Yeah. But like with
And I just
Infinity War,
rhymed, and I'm done.
but like Infinity War is a superhero, like through and through. Fantastical things, superhero movie. It's a superhero movie.
Every
It's
5
not
minutes, we're jumping
trying
from
to be
city
like
to another and bringing in another character
Yeah.
and doing another action sequence, and yeah.
yeah. It's cool. It's cool that a superhero movie can not feel like a superhero movie. To me. Oh man. Aquaman. I gotta go see it again.
Yep.
I also have to see Spider-Verse again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm
But
trying to
yeah.
think if there's anything else that I wanted. There's other stuff that came up like even before I left that I wanted to bring up before you get into your stuff, and I can't remember. Oh, there's 2 trailers I want to talk about very quickly.
Okay.
One of them is just because one of them's a movie I was just excited for, and then the other one is ridiculous. But have you, in any of the movies that you've seen recently, I think there was one before Spider-Verse, so you might have. But have you seen the trailer for The Kid Who Would Be King yet?
Yes.
I'm very excited for that.
I'm so excited. Zach, okay. Sorry. I'm so excited for this movie.
I am excited
Because-
for that movie because
oh.
it looks like the perfect like late 80s, early 90s kid adventure
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Done well and done. And plus Patrick Stewart shows up, which you can't complain
I
about
know.
that.
Which I really wish he wasn't in the trailers. I really wish he wasn't in the
That had been his-
trailers.
Yeah.
That he could have
I
just been
understand.
shown like yeah.
I understand why they did that, because without him, he is the only named person that was like would be recognizable to an
Yeah.
American
Well,
audience.
the
I
blonde,
understand that.
the blonde bully kid?
Yes.
He's the kid from the Dark Tower.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I saw Dark Tower, and I probably liked it more than other people,
Oh, I
and I
loved
still
the
would not
Dark
remember
Tower.
that. We'll have to talk about that one day
Oh,
because that's my favorite. That's my favorite book series. That is
listen,
like that's my Lord of the Rings.
I
Um,
bought the pop figures for the Dark Tower on clearance.
um,
It means I
but
love that movie.
but the other thing that about Kid Who Would Be King that makes me excited is that it is the director and writer of Attack the Block. Which have you seen Attack the Block?
No.
Attack the Block, I think, was produced by Edgar Wright, which was how it got a lot of its name out. But Joe Cornish is the writer director of that
Okay.
and of It Would Be King. It is about a group of kids living in um, a London project, and aliens fall from the sky. They just like they like crash land like meteors, and they pick one up, and they like are trying to figure out what to do with it because they think this is the thing that's going to get them out of the projects if they
Mm.
can like sell this thing or whatever. And so it's the whole night of like they're being chased by the cops who think that the aliens falling to Earth was like them like blowing stuff up. So like so there's this whole like poverty relations thing going on where like the poor people are being blamed for stuff that the aliens did.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
but the other
Oh,
thing is
interesting.
part of the way that the two big people that are in this movie. I'm so excited to get to share this with you. One is Jodie Whittaker, the new Doctor Who. This is one of her first movies. She plays a nurse that lives in the building with them and never met them before.
That's
They actually
awesome.
like the movie opens with them stealing her purse,
Oh,
and when she
okay.
chases them down, she realizes she chased them into her own building, and so like she's with them this whole night that all of these events are going on. But the
I
main
love
character
her.
Moses, the best thing is that the main character Moses is Finn
Uh-huh.
from Star Wars, whose name just completely passed out of my head.
John
Thank you.
Boyega.
Yes, it's John Boyega's breakout role
I
is
thought
Moses.
you said okay. I thought you said the main character is Finn, and I was
No,
like, yeah.
I meant Finn is in the
And
character
no,
Finn from Star
I
Who
thought
I
you
just
said
completely blanked on John Boyega's name.
I thought you said THIN.
Oh,
Yeah, which apparently me saying
Oh.
thin, thought I was saying thin.
Yep.
But no,
Oh man.
I 100% thought you said
Oh, yeah.
THIN, and I was
Yeah.
like, why does that matter, Zach?
Now, this
Where
was
are
like
you going with this?
this was I think a debut role for John Boyega.
Oh, I
This
love
was like
him too. Oh,
and
he's so good.
he is fantastic as like the leader of this like gang of like 13-year-olds
That's awesome.
living in this projects. It's such a good fucking movie. I highly encourage everybody to go find Attack the Block. It's one of the best like sci-fi movies to come out in the last like 10 years. It's
That's
that
awesome.
good. But then on top of that, having like Jodie Whittaker and John Boyega in that is, and like Nick Frost shows up in like a cameo because Edgar Wright produced the thing, so he shows up for
So
a
he
little
has
bit.
to.
Oh man, oh it's so good. And the like aliens are designed so well for like the movie is clearly done on like no budget,
Yeah.
and so the aliens are just like puppets that are like
Awesome.
very clearly like puppets, but they've like blacked them out in this interesting way so
Oh,
that like
cool.
they're kind of just like black with like neon teeth. Oh, it's so good. So yeah, so King Movie King, great. The other trailer,
Excited.
and this might have come up when I went to go see like Wreck-It Ralph, I think,
Yeah.
is the dog's journey home or whatever.
Oh my god. Okay.
Homeward Bound minus two animals, and
Pretty
also
much.
this trailer tells you the entire
movie. Yes, that has
Oh
been
my
my
God.
that has been my whole thing. That has been I'm like, well, you know they get home. You know the dog gets home. To which Devin was like, yeah, but it's the journey. And I'm like, I know, but still, I know it gets home.
The thing that makes me laugh about that is that is not it's a spiritual sequel. I think the book is from the same author as that Dog's Purpose or whatever, which was a movie that got investigated for animal abuse while
Yep.
they were making it.
Yep.
So like then they were like, let's go make another one now.
Yeah.
And let's do it by putting this dog in precarious situations, which is what we did last time, which got us investigated.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
It's like they didn't learn. Yeah, no, Dog's Journey Home though, every time I watch the trailer makes me cry.
Oh,
It's like,
man.
oh, this dog is helping other people too. Just shows what dogs.
It's just
can do.
Homeward Bound again.
Yeah, I know, but I'm aware. I just,
In fact, I'm pretty certain the second Homeward Bound is called like The Journey Home or something, or like The Journey something, because it's cross country instead of just San Francisco this time. I watched Homeward Bound 2 a lot when I was a kid. I remember the
I
scene
haven't watched
specifically.
Homeward Bound as much as I should.
I don't remember any of their names, but I do remember that the
Otis. I know there's an Otis. Oh wait,
you're thinking
no,
of
it's
Milo
Milo and
Otis.
Otis. Never mind. Never mind.
There's one that looks like Spuds McKenzie, and he gets poked by Porcupine and has to get like emergency vet surgery or something in that.
Uh-huh.
And then I can't remember if they think the cat dies or they think the old golden retriever dies, but there's like a whole moment where they think one of them is dead for a little bit.
Aw.
Yeah, that's what I remember from Homeward Bound 2 from like 25 years ago.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Oh man. So that's me. I'm done. I'm done. Give me good stuff. Let's laugh about something. What do you got?
I mean, we've been laughing, but so what have I got? So 2019 has started with a lot of Pokemon because my goal was to finish Pokemon Let's Go Eevee before the year was over.
And then the game reminded you that there's a whole other game after you finish it?
Well, that, but also I caught a Dratini and I spent so long trying to get it up to a Dragonite. So like there were literally days where I was just like sitting, running around, catching Pokemon that I did not need so I could get levels and fighting
that
people.
is how you grind in that game.
I know.
To be fair.
So I didn't realize because you had talked to me. You're like the grinding in Pokemon Go, Let's Go, is ridiculous because that's all you do. Like in other games where I wanted to level up a Pokemon, I would go to like one of the earlier routes and just fight stuff and get levels that way. It wasn't the best because, they're lower levels, but still, once I got to the level, I would move on to the next route and go on and go on and go on until it gets to the level that I needed it at and we could dominate, right? So in this one, you can't do that. And there's only a certain amount of trainers to fight, too.
You can always, so I did, because I looked this up and I checked, you can always refight the Elite Four, which is how people have ground money for years, apparently. Which I wouldn't know. I'd never get to the Elite Four before 2018.
But I didn't have the Elite Four
Oh, right, because you had caught the Dratini before.
Yeah, I had caught the Dratini before I beat the last two gyms, I think. Maybe the last gym. Before I got to
Blaine and Giovanni, because my brain is broken and I remember that stuff.
Oh my god, yeah. Before I got to Lance. Oh no, Lance is in the Elite Four. What's the gym before Giovanni?
Blaine.
Oh,
the old guy that does like the quiz and does the fire. Yeah.
So I think I had Dratini for that one. I'm not sure. I might have. I don't know. So I caught Dratini and I was like, I've never used a Dratini. Dratini and like the whole evolution line of Dratini is like again another one of my unsung like favorite Pokemon that I don't talk about as much as I talk about like Eevee or Beldum or Metagross, which I love that I blew your mind that was one of my favorite Pokemon.
It's not so much that it blew my mind, it's just that you talk about Eevee so much. I just never expected a different answer to come out of your mouth.
Or Bulbasaur or anything like that. But it's just, I have these unsung, like, favorites that have been my favorites ever since I was a kid, just because I loved how they looked and I liked their, what they represented, like a dragon and all of that. Like, I love dragons and all of that. So it's just, I was like, I need a Dratini. It's like a 4% chance to find it. So, up until I had the Dratini, I didn't have Sea-Skim. And I was going on to the part of the game where you go to Seafoam Islands and you go to Celadon. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to get there. I don't have the new surf move.
Right.
Yeah, so I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I can't do anything right now. So I just, like, am running around, and I eventually, somehow, I just, like, thought to go back into the Pokemon, like, Safari, Pokemon Go.
I was going to say, because you talked to the person who's chilling next to
with the Lapras. No, yeah. He's standing next to a Lapras, staring at a Lapras. I was convinced that I had done everything, like, talked to everybody, did everything in the Pokemon Let's Go area. But I guess I didn't talk to this guy. and he had Sea Skim. And I was like, I could have had Sea Skim so early on in this game that I could have had a Dratini on my team and had it leveling up at the same time as my other Pokemon. So by the time I caught a Dratini, it was 20 levels below all of my other guys. So I'm like, fuck. What am I gonna do? So I ended up I caught Zapdos before I caught the Dratini, and then I caught the Dratini, and I just kept catching Pokemon. Started quote unquote cheating, if you want to call it cheating. It's in the realm of the game though. I started to play co-op by myself, so I could
cheesing before. I'm gonna call it that.
Cheesing?
Cheesing, yes, where you're using stuff that's technically in the game, and it's not a glitch, and it's not cheating.
Okay,
but it is
no, I love it. I'm fine. Okay, so I was
Yeah.
cheesing, because I was playing co-op by myself. So when I would go to catch a Pokemon, I could get the synchronized bonus to increase my level, like experience points, and then I didn't realize that a new Pokemon gave you more experience. So then I was trying to find all these new Pokemon that I didn't have, and I'm like, this grinding is ridiculous. Like, how?
Because you get the combo bonus too.
Yeah, you get the combo bonus, and you do all that, and it's just like first throw bonuses. So like, I was perfecting my excellent throws. You get an excellent bonus. So like, I was doing all this, and it still wasn't enough to like. Because I'm like, I just want to finish the game now. Like, I have my Dratini. I just want to finish the game, but it's gonna die, and I don't want it to die in every single match that I take it into. So I eventually, finally, I had like 14 rare candies, so I gave it enough to evolve it into Dragonair. And then I was playing around with Dragonair. Went into the last two gym battles with Dragonair, which never knew, 24 years of my life, never knew Giovanni was the Viridian gym leader.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
Yeah, that Team Rocket was the one controlling that last gym.
I had no idea. I screamed.
For years, I thought it was your dad, but that's actually one of the later games.
That's Sapphire.
Yeah.
That's because I learned that in Alpha Sapphire. But it's not hidden. You just can't go there until you have 4 badges or 5 badges. He just doesn't allow you to fight him until you've proven yourself.
Because he is the 6th gym leader, just like in the play. Yeah, which is funny because it's like, oh, I'm your dad, and also I'm not like good enough to be the final gym leader and make this emotionally important. I'm just like one of the dudes you have to fight along the way.
But like so you get to the like last square, and then the hallway is dark, and then all the lights turn on, and it's just Giovanni in Persian, and I screamed. I was just like, oh my god! And then like my world was rocked. I was just like, this is insane. I love this. So then I go and I get that, and I finally get to the Elite Four, and I ended up, I think I gave my Dragonair more rare candies to like get it close so it could evolve in battle on its own to become Dragonite before I got to Elite Four, which it did. So that was cool. It evolved while I was on Victory Road, I want to say.
Yeah, and that's actually what I was going to say. Like, as far as like grinding goes, if you're trying to get especially much lower level Pokemon up to something, like go to Victory Road with a party of lower level Pokemon, and that's where you're going to really maximize that grinding. But oh my god, is it annoying. I mean, to be fair, wild battle grinding has always been annoying. I just don't know if this was the way to change it over. Like, I don't know if this was the fix for it.
It was just like, and I don't like using rare candies because, like, I don't know. I want my Pokemon. I try hard to make my Pokemon like love me and like we have a bond, like, so that I can in battle. First of all, because I love my Pokemon, I want them to love me as much as I love them. But also strategically wise, because you're still playing a video game.
If they think they love me, they don't die.
Exactly. They will keep 1 HP. They will get out of their poisoning. They will wake themselves up. They will fix their burn. They will fix their paralysis. Like, they will fix their status conditions if they love me because they don't want me to worry. And it's like, yeah, so I'm gonna do that. So, but I also hate just sending in low-level Pokemon for them to die because it's like,
I
no,
know.
I want
understand.
you to be able to fight. I want you to, like, I want you to have your spot on this team. You
Also,
know?
from a purely
So,
capitalist standpoint, to be a capitalist jerk about it, that rare candy is worth so freaking much. So when I needed money at the end of that game to buy more Pokeballs, I had like 20 rare candy that I
Yeah.
never used. I got
Yeah.
like $75,000 for them.
Oh,
They are the
jeez.
most expensive candy in the game.
I mean, I still have rare candy. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, you
I
get
think they're
so
worth-
much. You
they're
get
worth,
so
like,
much rare candy in this game.
Yeah, and they're worth like $7,500 each
Yeah.
when you sell them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So like,
See, I didn't even know that. Like, it's insane.
yeah, I didn't either. I was just like selling stuff at the end because I was like, I need Pokeballs so I can grind stuff.
But you don't.
Oh,
you,
God.
You don't even understand. Like, the struggle it was for me to like decide to use the rare candy was. I was like, Devin, should I use the rare candy? He's like, I don't know. Maybe hold on to it. Like, you might get something.
Should I drug my Pokemon?
Yeah,
or
I was like,
love
do I
them?
drug it? Do I just like feed it candy? Like I'm freaking Lil Nemo? Like what? Like come on. It's just, and he's like, I don't know what. And he brings up the point of like, what if you get a Pokemon towards the end of the game that you want to add to your party that you just need that one level or those 4 levels and you can just give it the rare candy. And I'm like, oh God, this is too much to think about. I just want a Dragonite so I can beat the Elite Four. But anyway, yeah, so the way I justified it was if I had just talked to the guy with the Lapras earlier on, I would have had a Dratini and I wouldn't have had to like worry about grinding or anything like that. So that's how I justified giving it rare candies to like, because it fixes my stupidity of just not talking to someone. But lo and behold, I beat the Elite Four. Went through my entire playthrough without blacking out or whiting out. Which I'm sorry, Zack.
Oh my God, I do it so much. Well, it's because we have different play styles. My play style is to go in aggressively and offensively every battle. So
no, I mean I fainted. Like my Pokemon fainted a bunch, but I just never blacked out until I beat the game. So I beat the game. I went to try and go do Mewtwo. I almost just called him Meowth. I went to try and go do Mewtwo. Could not catch him because the first 2 times that I tried to catch him, time ran out because you're a 5-minute timer. So time ran out. So I was like, God damn. First of all, I almost died against
which, by the
him.
way, like that, those are my. I don't know if it's because they're so spare or what, but those were my favorite battles in the game because the Snorlax did that too, where in the legendary Pokemon where it's you have a certain timer to knock them out and then you can try and catch them. I don't know.
I love it.
I don't think I would be able to do that every wild battle, but the new RPG that's coming out supposedly at the end of this year, if the way that they kind of like middle grounded a lot of this was kind of it was you knock them down to a certain point, or I don't know if you need to fully knock them out. I don't know if you need a timer, but I feel like you should have regular wild battles like those are. But then when you choose to use a Pokeball, then it will do the thing that Let's Go does.
Yeah.
So that you have the two together so that you still have wild battles. I think that's what I would like to see.
I got you. No, I get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get that. I think it'd be cool. I think, yeah, because I also loved not having the pressure of, like, I need to keep it alive. Like, if I kill it, it's done. Like, you have to kill it. Well, not kill it. You need to get it down to 0 health before you can catch it. Like, yeah, it just takes away that extra, like, oh, I need someone with Fury Swipes, or is it Fury Swipes that leaves 1 HP?
No, Fury Swipes is one of the ones that's like 2 to 5 turns and it's totally unpredictable.
Oh, right.
And useless in a Nuzlocke run.
Yeah. there's a couple moves that leave 1 HP. Right. And it's like, okay, I need to have someone who can learn that or who already has that. It's like, it takes away that part of strategy from the game, but at the same time, it also takes some stress out of the game. Right. Because that is stressful. You have to, like, if you kill your Mewtwo and if you didn't save before you killed the Mewtwo, you don't get Mewtwo. Sorry, kids. Like, games
Yeah,
should
how
be
was that,
fun.
by the way, with the like master ball throwing? That's the thing that scares me because, like, I guess, I mean, theoretically, the master ball is set up so that it
Did you
always
not use
catches.
your?
Oh, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it. I don't have anybody strong enough to fight off Mewtwo in 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Um, but
So
like, I was just curious because, like, in a normal Pokemon game, for people who have no idea what we're talking about, you get this thing called the Master Ball, which is like like the ultimate Pokeball, always catches whatever,
yep.
and so that's what you're supposed to use to catch this super powerful Pokemon at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But with Let's Go, you have the possibility of missing that throw.
So I don't want to ruin that for you.
Okay.
It's just
But there is a thing that they have accounted for with that. It sounds like.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. That's okay. That's
yeah,
that's
I
what I was
don't.
curious because like that was the other
It's
thing is I
cool.
was like,
It's very very cool what
All right.
happens, and I don't
right.
want to ruin it for you.
all right, cool.
But yeah. So I think I fought Mewtwo 4 times before I caught him. I want to say
Jeez.
four or five. I don't remember. But before I even went to catch him, the third time I was like, I need to fight another gym. So I went back and I fought Viridian, beat Gary, or Blue. Ooh, sorry, I beat Blue, and then I was like, I need to fight another gym, and I tried to go fight Sabrina because she's a psychic type, so I could try moves against a psychic type to see if I could beat Mewtwo. Blacked out against Sabrina, and it was my first
Oh,
blackout.
can you can refight the gym leaders?
Yeah.
I had no idea that was an
Oh
option.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
They're
Good to
just
know.
stronger. Their Pokemon
No,
are
I mean,
stronger now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I
and
had no
then-
idea that was a
Yeah.
thing I could do.
Yep.
Okay.
So I went back, fought Sabrina, blacked out. Went back, fought Blue, blacked out, and I'm like, I just need to do this. I just need to go back to Mewtwo and just do it until I get it. And then I realized with Devin's help that I could teach my Ninetales a dark move. And my Ninetales, who I affectionately called Frosty, even though I cannot name him because I got him in a trade and he's a
Oh, you
Alolan
got
version.
Yep.
He's the
Yep.
Alolan. So Frosty was my highest level Pokemon at 66. Even Reagan, like higher than Reagan, who is my EV. And I was like, I can teach Frosty Foul Play, and it's a dark type move, and I could just get this over with. So that is what I did, and I caught Mewtwo, and that's where I am in Pokemon right now.
Nice.
I have a newly caught Mewtwo.
You and I, we're gonna have to talk off mic at some point and send lists to each other of the exclusives from each version.
Yes.
Because I realized was the other day I went, oh my god, this is what Pokemon Go is for.
Yeah.
I can catch Pokemon that aren't in this version and transfer them in and use them. The problem is that all of a sudden they're not syncing the way they were. Like I had no trouble syncing them like a month ago playing this game. And then the one night I sit down to go, I'm going to transfer these like 5 Pokemon that I can't get in my version. All of a sudden they desynced and they will not sync back up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
it's
that's
really
interesting.
annoying.
So the first time I did a sync with Pokemon Go and the Switch was on Monday, well, yesterday. When we are recording this, it was yesterday, but Monday to get Meltan. And it sunk no problem. I moved over a Horsey because I hadn't caught a Horsey yet, even though I don't think it's a version exclusive at all. But I moved over a Horsey and then caught a shit ton of Meltan, but I didn't have an issue.
I haven't even got like I don't. How do you even get?
Oh,
Meltan?
I can explain that off mic
okay.
too. Yeah.
Because the other option is you just send me one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
Well, actually, what you need to do is send me 2 so that I can have 1 to evolve and 1 to keep.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing that happened at the end of this game is they unlocked these master trainers, which is 153 trainers. It's 153 trainers, all with a level 65 of one of the Pokemon, and you have to fight them with that specific Pokemon. But that also means that like if you do what I do, which is I caught everybody, but then they were all evolved, so I had like 110 Pokemon.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you need all 153, and they all need to be at this level, and they can't be evolved because we won't let a Pidgey fight a Pidgeotto.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been doing that.
Ugh.
The most annoying thing about that one is the starters. I caught Bulbasaur. I have a Bulbasaur, an Ivysaur, and a Venusaur because they showed up for whatever reason fairly easily in Viridian
Nice.
Forest, but I
Okay.
cannot get Charmander to show up in Rock Tunnel where I've definitely seen them before,
I think
and
I
I've never seen a wild Squirtle.
Oh,
It's
I
like,
saw a
oh,
wild squirrel.
yeah,
Squirtle.
but I
I
have
think I
one.
caught
I have one
one.
on I have one on Pokemon Go, so I could transfer it if I could get them to sync.
Yeah.
But then I still need another one.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
but I could at least.
Oh
But you and I should definitely talk where it's like, okay, so I need two Weezings
this.
and two Vulpixes and two this and
Yep.
two that, and then you transfer those to me, and I transfer you a couple of the ones that are exclusive to mine,
Yeah.
and we at least get those settled.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god.
Teamwork, everybody.
Teamwork makes the dream work. This is gonna be a longer episode because I also need to talk about this.
That's fine. Let's keep that.
We
It's
haven't
been
talked
couple
in a
weeks.
week. This was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, that's my Pokemon saga. Moving on. Devin's birthday has passed.
I heard a little bit about this on Senior this week, but I want to hear how things went for you.
So hold on. So I haven't listened to their episode yet. What did they mention?
So that it was escape room themed, apparently.
Yes.
But that Devin never actually made. No, you did make it to the escape room eventually, right? But you didn't make it to the movie.
We
That's
didn't
what it
make
was.
it to the movie. Okay, cool.
A movie, by the way, that is like someone sat down and went, "What kind of movie does Zach want to watch?" Because every time I watch, I'm like, "This looks like the worst, campiest version of like Saw ever." I
Yeah.
want to watch this movie now.
Yeah.
I need to see it. But
yeah. I kind of want to see it too because it doesn't look as scary
I had a
as
friend, the friend that was driving me home that picked me up at the train stop in
Yeah.
Deming. Her mother was driving on the way home, and they had been in another town. They had been out of town all day. The reason they were able to pick me up is they had gone to another town and were driving through Deming around the time I was coming in. It was perfect.
Oh, nice.
But we're sitting in the car driving home, and she turns to me and says, "Oh, Mom went to escape room today while I was out shopping because she wanted to see this movie." Which that right there, hilarious. I
Yeah.
love that. Every time someone says that, like, "Oh, this 50-year-old went to go see this like PG-13 horror movie on their own," because that's just the thing they're into. It's like, I want to go to movies with you forever. But the best thing was, she turns around and goes, "Yeah, but it's PG-13. It wasn't as gory as I hoped it would be."
Oh, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. Oh god.
Oh
Um,
man.
So yes, so we did an escape room. Because Devin had gotten to his head that he wanted to go do an escape room and then see the movie Escape Room. So we made that happen.
Somehow begrudgingly, to hear him talk about it, he made it
Yeah.
sound like this was
Well,
not his idea.
So what happened was we saw a trailer for Escape Room, and we always joke. We joke about what movies could be our birthday movies or quote unquote birthday movies. And so it's the movie Escape Room, the trailer for Escape Room goes, and he goes, "Oh, that could be my birthday movie." And and we laugh and we joke about that. And then he was like, "We could go do an escape room and then go watch Escape Room." And I was driving at this point when he was talking about that. So he's in the passenger seat. And I'm like, yeah, because that sounds like something you'd want to do for your birthday.
Yeah.
Because
This is why you should never speak ironically,
Yeah.
everybody.
And he's like, I'm like, you don't ever want to give an interest into escape rooms. And I mean, that's it. Movies. Yes, you love movies. You want to go see movies. Also, the cast in Escape Room kind of works for you. But, you don't want to do an escape room. You've never wanted to do an escape room. So, yes, it sounds like something you want to do for your birthday. And so we just, kept making this joke that he got it into his head that he actually wanted to do it for his birthday. So we were like, okay, fine. Let's do it. Let's find a place. We'll do it. So it was me, Devin, and our mom. And because her dad was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing an escape room. And I don't.
Something my dad would do.
And I think it's, I don't know. But so we go do it. And it was, and I've had my reservations about escape rooms too. Because I'm like, it just doesn't seem like my thing. It doesn't, I like puzzles. But it's just become this thing that everyone is talking about and doing that it's just I don't know if I see the appeal. but now I see the appeal, Zach.
I was gonna say, Dale, it is expressly my shit on every level. Are you kidding me? I have done one escape room in my entire life. It is still one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Was so. It was really, really fun. And so we go to it, and he's like, we weren't sure if we were gonna go see the movie, because he was like, if I'm escape roomed out, we're not gonna do the movie. We're gonna discuss it while we're at lunch. And then lunch went a different way than we expected, and I will talk about that and humiliate myself in a moment. But so we go and we do the escape room, and it is not what I expected at all. Like, I expect lavish scenery and like beautiful, like, it's like a room. Like, it is set designed. It is like real furniture, like rooms upon rooms, and like shelving, and it's just beautiful, right? That is what I am expecting. We walk in to the escape room, and
I'm rubbing my hands vigorously.
And we do. So we did this movie premiere one, and when we read it, it was like, you're basically a Ghostbuster. So it's like, okay, cool. That's definitely a Devin Decker thing. Perfect. We didn't tell him that that's what the room was about. We just told him it was a movie premiere. We didn't tell him it was a Ghostbuster like feel to it. So, So we walk in, and it is just like a room. It is just a room, like a built room. Like, they carved this point out of this mall and was like, this is where we're going to have our escape room area. We're going to build walls in a square formation and create rooms.
Yep.
First of all, and
I'll tell you about the one I did, because it's not much different. But
okay, keep going. And so we walk into the thing, and yes, again, I am expecting like beautiful. It is nice. We walk in, and it is just like, like wallpaper. Okay, so like picture wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like, so there is just like wallpaper of a curtain and like a stage to make it look like it's a movie premiere.
That's even okay.
And
when you said picture wallpaper, my head went, patterned wallpaper.
No,
you mean like an actual
a poster. It's like a poster, but like wallpapered to the wall.
Oh my
and
God.
Then there are maybe like 1, 2, 3, 8 like movie posters, like Showtime boards that are posters, like wallpaper posters to the wall, and then a wall of like actor stars. And I probably shouldn't be sharing this, because they're like, don't share anything about the room, blah, blah, blah. Don't give anything away. I'm not going to give any of the clues away. I'm just saying what it looks like. And it's just like wallpaper, poster, like things you would get at the dollar store. Fantastic. Just actor stars that have actors' names on them, and just a wall of those. And it's like, this is not what I was expecting at all. And then just like 4 trunks just spread out in the room. And then a podium and a chair and like something stuck to the wall. And it's like, here's your room. And it's like, what? What? And it was just like all lock and key stuff, but not what I expected at all walking into that room.
Well, I think my experience, I think, sounds more like what you were expecting, because I went to not a mall, it was a strip mall, but I mean, I went to a place that was specifically designed to have like 4 of these things set up.
Got you. Okay.
And so like, it wasn't just like we carved out the space. It was, these things were built specifically for this escape room purpose. And the one we went, this was somewhere in Texas for like a company thing, where we go and walk into the room, and it is set up like not even a 1-bedroom apartment. There was no bedroom to this apartment, but there was a kitchen and a living room.
Okay.
And a closet. Like that was it, but like sectioned off in three things. And so like the kitchen had specific clues, and the living room had specific clues, and then I mean, I guess slight spoiler, there was a secret door in the closet, but like the whole thing you were doing was trying to find the way to get through the secret door in the closet to the hacking station that the person
Beautiful.
who lived there was like their whole story, their whole scenario for this was that you are the cops, like you're like CSI. You're like
Yeah.
CSI cyber though, like you're the ones going in because someone's been hacking into certain things and you need to go and find their setup and shut down their operation. So like your job was to go into this apartment and find the clues to figure out where their operation was and then shut it down.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah,
That's
but it was
awesome.
set up like you walk in and it's like this is like a really slightly bigger than my own kitchen,
Yep.
like kitchen setup, and then a living room with like a couch and a not even not a TV, but there was like a stand where a TV should be
Yep.
with like drawers and stuff. So you would like dig through the drawers and stuff like that, and then there was some stuff in the closet and all of that, which was like really interesting. But I mean, like I walked in and it was like okay. So like they clearly put in the effort on this one because like everything was like to it like everything was important. There's a laptop in there where they specifically were like, this is a laptop, this is the password to the laptop, and these are the two important things on the laptop you need to click on. Well, depending, at some point you'll
Yeah.
know when
Yours is
you need to
already
click.
more in depth.
Yeah.
like already. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Now that I've done like this bare bones one, sorry to cut you off, but like
Oh,
I've done
that's
this
all I
bare
have to say about
bones,
that.
this bare bones escape room. I don't know if I ever want to do a non bare bones escape room. Like I don't think I want to just like walk into an apartment and be like escape it. No, I don't. I want a built four corner room with trunks.
I want a
Please.
storage unit and I want wallpaper.
I want wallpaper, and I just want one key to start off with, and then show me where to go from there. Because
Because mine was like you walk in and you've got to figure out like you have to get first off you have to find the password to the laptop, and then when you get in the laptop you have to know what's important, and once you know what's important on there it'll give you like a certain combination. What does the combination go to? I have no idea. Let's figure it out.
my
Oh,
God.
this drawer has a combination on it. What happens when we open that? Oh, it's got another combination on it. What do we do with this? Hey, that's weird. There's like a hinge and a combination lock in the closet. Why would we do that? The best part about that as we looked at that, and the four or five of us that were doing this escape room looked at it and went, is that part of the puzzle, or is that a room that we are literally not allowed to go into as the players in this thing? And like it's a storage room for the room.
yeah,
Like we had a good
God.
5 minute conversation out of the hour that we had to get through this room going, are we allowed to use this combination lock right here?
That's fantastic. Oh my God. Yeah, no, I just like there's a part of me that does want to do like what you're describing, like a lavish, like a real, like this is a real room. Like this is a real, like we set this
There's
up
a specific
as a real,
puzzle
this is
that you have set
yes.
for, yeah.
Like there's a part of me that does want to see it to like compare the two, but I had a lot of fun just solving. Like I was sitting on the ground, just being like, okay, here are the numbers. Like we need it. Like it's just like we love doing puzzles. Like my mom, my dad, my brother, and I, we do enjoy doing puzzles. Like it's what we do. It's what we've grown up, like what I've grown up doing, and having to like keep, like I had to keep on my toes for puzzles and stuff growing up. So it's just like it really was like, here are your clues, unlock the locks, catch the ghost. And it was so cool. Like it was a lot of fun, but I don't know if I would be able to like have as much fun as I did. Like in yours, were you able to wreck the place? Because we wrecked the place.
I mean, there wasn't a lot in there. That's the thing. Like, there were cabinets, but the only, like, 4 mugs in the cabinets had shit written on them because they were part of the clues. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like there was, like, a room full of, like, glassware we had to worry about and things
Yeah.
like that. And, like, if there was clothes in the closet because they were
Yeah.
blocking the door. So once we pushed the clothes out of the way, we realized, okay, so that's what that was hiding. Like everything was there very
Well,
specifically placed.
it was
So
like
like it's not like we were going in there just like throwing clothes up in the air like the Great Gatsby or anything.
well, like we had like the trunks were turned on their side, or locks were everywhere. Like, because I would unlock a lock and just like push it to the side and be like, "Okay, what's next?" Like we had clues everywhere. Like we weren't allowed to take a picture of the room afterwards, but it was a mess. Like there was a director's chair. The director's chair was turned over. It looked like we had a party in there. There were like
Oh
there was
man,
like
all I could think of
like
is the
just like
person that had to spend
props
20 minutes.
everywhere. Yeah, there was
Someone had to
props
spend 20 minutes
everywhere.
cleaning up after you.
Oh my god. The one and only worst thing about the escape room was, so it was like divided into 2 levels. We finished the first level in, I want to a half an hour. So, you have the 50 minutes. We finished the first level in a half an hour. And they're like, if you finish and you have more time left over and you want to move on to the next level, and the next level really only had like 2 clues to like figure out. So we're like, let's do it. We're gonna do it. We have 20 minutes. Let's go. So we go and we get to the final clue and the final box to get out of the room. And the riddle and answer to unlock the locks had nothing to do with movies. Whereas everything else in the movie premiere room had to do with movies.
Yeah, Devin mentioned this on Senior, and I have a very specific question.
Okay.
So he did mention, I guess, spoiler alert for this escape room. He mentioned that baseball was integral to the answer of this thing.
So if he said it, then yeah.
Yes.
The
so
answer,
here's my question. It wasn't like this is a like sports movie.
Nope.
What sport is integral to the sports movie?
No, the question, the riddle didn't even have anything to do with movies.
Oh, come on.
It was just like, it mentioned the Riddler. Like, it mentioned someone and his favorite character was the Riddler. And then someone like...
Oh, so what it was sports trivia masquerading as movie trivia.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like it was a riddle. Whereas everything else in the room didn't feel like a riddle. It was just like clues. Like it's a riddle and a clue are 2 very different things.
Right. I mean, a riddle itself has clues to answer it. It is its own contained thing.
Exactly.
A clue is part of a larger puzzle, like the escape room you're doing.
Yeah. So everything else, like I can't think of another riddle that existed in the room. Excuse me. Getting really passionate. I got a cough. Yeah, like I can't remember another riddle that happened in the room except for this last one. So it was weird that it was a riddle, and then we're like trying to come up with not baseball. We're trying to come up with the movie answers to what the riddle, and we came up with like good answers that could have potentially unlocked the lock, but it was baseball, and it had nothing to do with movies. It was just like, we needed something to end the room. Here you go. So. But I also learned that every 12 weeks, the rooms change. So maybe we'll go back.
That's actually a very good timetable. Because like once every like either, doing an escape room like that, like twice a year, sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it more than that.
Yeah.
I don't think. But like once or twice a year sounds like perfect. So like if it's ever changing, that sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, and we were talking about how like people do it every weekend. Like I could never do an escape room every weekend. Yeah, it would have to be like twice a year, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Or like maybe once every 3 months. Like if I want it that badly, if I want the fix that badly of an escape room.
It's like it's not like a thing that's like it's like laser tag. It's like a thing that sounds like
Yeah,
fun to do, and it's always cool and fun when you do it. But I can't imagine the type of person who's like, I go to laser tag every
every
weekend.
weekend.
It's like, why?
Yeah,
Why?
Barney.
Why would you do
Barney
that?
Stinson doesn't actually exist. Actually, probably there is actually someone in the world who actually is exactly like Barney
The sad answer,
Stinson.
the sad answer is that we're many years away at this point. That there is someone who has modeled themselves to be
Yeah.
Barney
Oh,
Stinson and
definitely.
probably
There
vote.
definitely is.
Uh,
But yeah, it's just like I loved laser tag. You know what? It's funny that you bring up laser tag because now that I'm thinking about like how much fun I have at laser tag and how much fun I had in the escape room, same amount of fun. Like I loved it. I had so much fun doing it, and exactly like if escape rooms existed when I was in camp, like doing camp trips and stuff, it would be like, yeah, that was good. Okay, I don't need to do that for another month. Like I
yeah,
don't need to
yeah.
do
You
this
know what?
again.
In 6 months, I want to do an escape room. 6 months of that. After that, I want to play laser tag, and then I just want to
I
rotate
just want to
between the two.
rotate. Exactly. Oh man, it was good. No, it was a lot of fun. And then I threw up.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
Did I tell you?
No, you didn't tell me anything. Devin mentioned this.
Yeah.
Also, this is one of those weird episodes where we're referencing
We're
other
gonna
things that aren't even
reference.
our own show.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Well, it's because
but-
like this is. I mean, this is what we did. We spent Devin's birthday together, so you're gonna have crossover between the reports. Yeah, we went to lunch, and we were like I said, we were gonna see how we felt after lunch if we wanted to go see the movie, and I. Now I have to listen to the episode.
I know exactly what you drank out of, so you better talk about exactly what you drank.
Oh my god. Okay,
I know.
So we went to this bar. We went to this restaurant, restaurant, whatever, and they have a 64-ounce boot that you
Jesus,
could.
I did not get the size. Hold
Yeah,
on, 64 ounces.
It was 64 ounces of alcohol of beer.
Man.
Which we did.
Hey, in Utah, it would still be 2 ounces of alcohol in that 64-ounce drink.
Yeah. So it was 64 ounces of beer, and I think we got Bud Light because you could at this location you could choose what drink you wanted. So I was like, Bud Light, I got this. I'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
It's basically water. Come on.
And all I had eaten that day was
Escape room something. You
No,
ate something in the escape room. Shoot through the wall.
Yeah, no, I mean we had Doughboys and cereal.
Oh my God!
For
Be
breakfast?
more Rhode Island.
It was like my mom made Doughboys and we had Captain Crunch cereal because Devin and I watched Hackers in the morning, which I had seen Hackers for the first time. So I hadn't eaten. I really hadn't eaten. So I was like, I got this. 64 ounces of beer. I'll just sip it. It'll be fine. And then it gets to the point. It gets to the point where like I'm drinking it and I'm like, oh, this is great. I have to use two hands. I'm like, this is a great experience. I love it. And then it gets to a point where like Devin is like halfway into his boot and I'm only like it looks like I haven't touched it. And I'm like, something needs to change because we need to get out of here. Like, I need to drink this.
My God. Have you seen... Question, before you continue. Have you seen Beer Fest?
Okay, so Beer Fest and I have an interesting relationship. Devin and I went and saw another movie. Don't remember what the movie was. Devin then was told by our parents to do not take your sister to go see Beer Fest. So we went and saw one movie, and then we went into another theater after the movie, and this is years ago, so whatever. We went and we walked into Beer Fest, and I said to Devin,
so happy with this story right now.
I said to Devin, what are we doing? I don't even remember what year did Beer Fest come out.
I want to say I was in college because it was after Super Troopers.
Yeah.
So I must have been my early college years, so like 2008-ish, maybe?
Okay, so I was in maybe 8th grade. So I was like 12, maybe 11. I don't know. I don't remember. So...
I forgot about that part.
What?
I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You're younger than me.
I'm a little bit younger than you. Not much.
Uh,
Not much younger. What is age but a number? Anyways. um so we go and we walk in there and I'm like, Devin, mom and dad said you couldn't go take me to see this. They said I couldn't see this. They said like, and I was like really nervous that we were going to
oh,
get in trouble.
oh, I just looked this up by the way. It's 2006. So
Oh, so I was even younger.
yeah,
I
that
was
actually
10.
explains a lot.
I was like 9. I was
I was in
8 or
high school when that
9.
movie still came out. Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I was in 6th grade probably. So, yeah. So, not a movie for
Nope, never mind.
a-
I understand now. I understand exactly why you were not allowed to see this
Yeah.
movie. I get it.
So we're sitting there and we're watching Beer Fest and like I remember scenes of it that made me laugh as a kid, and then I remember other scenes that I did not understand as a kid but understand now and was like, yeah, I shouldn't have saw this.
What a fun realization. Well, because the only reason I even brought
I've
this
never
up was
seen it. I've never seen it since that time that Devin
snuck
was
you
like,
into Beer Fest.
Devin was like, we're going to see Beer Fest. I don't care what mom and dad said.
Because all I can think with that is like that's my first experience in knowledge of the Boots'
Das
existence.
Boot?
Was
Yeah.
Beer Fest? Yes, it was Das Boot.
Well,
Beer
that's
Fest.
like, that was the coolest part of the movie for me too. And like, I'm like, oh yeah, the bubble, blah blah blah. Like
the physics of the beer.
of the beer. Yeah. So like, I was like, oh, you could drink out of a boot. Like as a kid, I was like, that's cool. And like that was always like ingrained in my head.
That, by the way, is specifically what your parents were worried about. That you would see someone drink out of a boot, and your reaction would be awesome.
Right? So yeah, so we get there, so we order the boot and it comes and I was like, oh god. I looked at it and Devin's like, and Dale just realized she made a mistake.
A huge mistake. Yeah.
So I start drinking the beer and I'm like, this is good, this is fine. And I was like, I need to start drinking it faster though. Started drinking it faster, started to get tipsy. I was like,
I mean, that'll happen. Yeah.
I think I drank this boot in like less than 20 minutes because I was just like, I had to keep like drinking it. I had to keep drinking
That's
it.
4
And-
pints of beer
And Devin,
in under 20
Here's
minutes.
the thing. My time perception could have been off. It felt like I drank it in like 20 to 30 minutes. Because our wait, like our service there was also bad. So like my mom was getting agitated, Devin was slightly getting agitated, and I was just like, beer and burgers. What's
By the way,
going on?
My perception of this on the outside is that you have decided they were agitated with the waitstaff
Oh,
when
no,
they
they
were
weren't.
agitated with the tipsy Dale. When they were
No,
Yeah, they were here
100%. They were agitated with the waitstaff. So I was like, I need to drink this beer because we need to get out of here because they're not happy. Like we just need to get out of this situation. So I'm like trying to like drink the beer as fast as I could. By the time I've like finished my food, I still have half the boot to go, and I'm just like downing it, getting drunker and drunker and drunker. And then we stand up. I finish it. I down it. I finish it, and I stand up. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel good. I'm fine. Like I felt fine. And then we get to the doorway to go outside, and I like verbally say to my mom, "Oh, I gotta puke." And then I put my, this is gonna get graphic, boys and girls. Put my hand over my mouth, and like to stop myself thinking that would do it. And
never
then all
works,
of
by
a
the way.
sudden,
Anybody listening to this right now who might be under 21 or has never drunk before, let me tell you this right
don't
now.
put your hand in front of
The
your mouth.
hand
It
over
does
the
not
mouth
work.
does nothing
Nope.
because the muscles that are controlling all of that are internal.
Yep. You'd have to put your hand down your throat to stop it. So I put my hand over my mouth, and all of a sudden I can just see, I just like feel it come out, and I'm like stopping it in my hand. And like some definitely got in the restaurant.
Oh,
And then we get
man.
outside and just like on, on the ground, and I am laughing and like tearing up, and my mom is just like, oh Jesus, we need to go. We need to go. We need to go. And then Devin, I said to Devin, I was like, I think I threw up in the restaurant. He's like, did you? I'm like, I think so. And he's like, we need to leave now. Like, we need to get the fuck out of here. And so we just drove, and it's like, I felt fine after I threw up, but I just, like, it was my first time ever throwing up because of alcohol.
Oh,
and
man,
it was in broad daylight at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Congratulations.
Because I drank 64 ounces of Bud Light.
In a callback to an earlier episode, can I introduce you to a couple of women who really wanted to celebrate Christmas at the Alamo Draft House?
No, I don't want to meet them ever.
One day I'll tell you why I don't drink brandy anymore, because it's an equally embarrassing story.
So that's how 2019 has been for me so far.
Oh. So we're off to a great start, everybody.
Man, this is our first episode of the year, and an hour and
a half,
hour and 34-ish minutes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh
yep.
God.
Yep.
So this has been. I can't even. Oh man.
This is it. I got nothing else, so you can end it.
Are we at 50 episodes yet? We don't even know. We should probably count these things. God, I hope this is secretly our 50th.
I hope this is our 50th. No, we're not, because Devin said that we had 40. We were at 40.
Okay,
so
that makes more sense.
This is
considering where
41.
we started in the year. Yeah, we should be at 50 somewhere in February.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was either 41 or 40. I think this was 41.
We'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure it out.
This has been Say Report Jr. I think we got nothing left in the tank, buddy. It's good to be back. I'm choosing to think that we're getting all of the garbage of 2019 out now. It's just whatever was left of 2018 is just out of our system, and we're just getting through it, and we're good. But you can find us on Twitter if you want to ask us more questions about alcohol poisoning or Pueblo, Colorado, or Aquaman.
Or Pokemon.
Or Pokemon.
Rare candies, man.
We'll talk about anything, clearly. If you can find us on Twitter at sayreportjr. You can find us individually. I am at Zerwisky.
And I am at Dale's Brain.
You can also find us on YouTube, where our Doki Doki adventure still lives.
Oh! I do have one more thing, now that you mentioned our Doki Doki adventure. Doki Doki, because we weren't sure what it means, Devin looked it up. It is the automatopoeia of what a heartbeat sounds like in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
So,
okay,
super adorable.
Yeah. It's like in Britain when they sneeze and they say tisha or something instead of a chew.
Yeah, something.
It's interesting. Cool. Yes, find us on YouTube at sayreportjr. And I think with all of that, is it ice cream time? I think it's ice cream time.
I think it's ice cream time. We didn't tell them that they should be downloaded and subscribed to.
Oh my God.
Listening, subscribe to, and downloading each week. So you should be doing that. And now, I think we should all go get some ice cream.
Cool. Take it away, Liz.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to The Say Report with your hosts, Dale Decker and Zack. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report. And you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.